Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Hope you are having a great weekend and a great Sunday as we continue our relatively quiet weather across the eastern U.S. It's been a very nice weekend. I don't know about y'all, but I've been trying to be outside as much as possible, whether I'm just doing yard work or just chilling outside. I usually use Labor Day weekend as the weekend to do what I call fall cleaning, just like in the spring you do spring cleaning, just to prepare the house and clean up some things, fix some things for the remaining part of the year. So, not sure how y'all are celebrating, but tomorrow is Labor Day, where we celebrate our active military and retired military, and just anybody that's been in the military. We use tomorrow to celebrate it. So I appreciate anybody who served or active, and thank y'all for what y'all have done for our country. It's much appreciated. I'll touch base on that tomorrow, obviously, with tomorrow being Labor Day. But we're going to break down a few things in this video. Hurricane Larry is definitely one we're going to talk about, and it's pretty much an eyesore on this infrared right here. It's spinning away. It's going to try to flirt with Category 4 status as a major hurricane at 125 miles per hour per the 2 p.m. update. That might get upgraded here to the 8 p.m. update. But you can tell Bermuda is right here. I think it's going to clearly miss Bermuda. But an area I am concerned about is Newfoundland and the city of St. John's, which pokes out the most furthest eastern in Newfoundland. So anybody viewing from that area, there's two major models we look at, the GFS and the European, at this range as far as how far we're out from right now to when this could potentially affect this area of Canada. And the European model shows it really hitting y'all hard up there. And I know I don't talk much on Canada, but it is kind of the eastern part of North America. But and then the GFS has it missing pretty good, not really affecting y'all. So we'll talk about that. We'll also break down the potential for some tropical moisture to surge into the southeast later this week. Will it develop into anything? Well, guidance has definitely backed off some, but there's definitely going to be a big surge of moisture into Florida, into the southeast, and we're going to talk about that. And then we're going to take a look at a little bit further beyond into about the 7 to 8 day range, where it looks like over the last couple days there's been an area of interest, specifically off the GFS, that something in this area right here really wants to form, and maybe a bunch of maybes. That's all we're talking about. Maybe develop into the Gulf of Mexico later on. So we're going to break down what's going on. If you guys have not subscribed, definitely hit the subscribe button. I make videos every single day. I'm also a storm chaser, so I get out there and get active. Like the video if y'all like it. The growth has been amazing over the last 2 months. It's been a fun ride, and I'm just definitely appreciate y'all for the amazing support. I'm just a guy who's very passionate about weather. Y'all give me an opportunity to talk about what I love, and y'all give me an audience to do that with. So thank y'all for the amazing support. So after saying all that, let's get going here. So as you can tell, this is Hurricane Larry. It's spinning away like crazy out here. It's a pretty large hurricane. I mistakenly said it was a small hurricane this morning, but I think I just got tongue-tied and said the opposite of what I meant here. It's actually a pretty large hurricane. It actually successfully it looks like it definitely underwent a eye wall replacement cycle, which basically means the center of the storm basically regenerated the structure of its eye. Basically, the outer wall, or the inner wall collapses, and the outer wall becomes the inner wall. And if it can successfully do that without getting dry air entrained into the circulation, then it can maintain intensification, and it's going to maintain that as it tries to get into warmer waters, which is out in front of it. So here we go. So the National Hurricane Center has an area of interest, and this is the area we're talking about for a surge of moisture. Potentially a very small chance, but there is a chance that this might turn to a named storm, weak tropical storm. You never know. We'll have to watch it. Gulf of Mexico is a weird area. Can't trust it. I would say that over and over again. Right now, you got Larry out here, 125 mile per hour storm per the 2 p.m. update. This might get updated. Starting to move northwest, and going to flirt with Bermuda here in the next few days here. You look at the cone of uncertainty for Larry. Bermuda right here. Bermuda, you are not in the cone of uncertainty, but this is the area we have to watch here in Newfoundland and the city of St. John's, which is right around this area. It's going to get very close to y'all as we get into this coming weekend, into early part of next week, as it begins to speed up. So we'll continue to watch that. But Here is some model guidance on it, but check it out. Some of the model guidance goes right through that far eastern island of Newfoundland. St. John's, a big city right in here. We have to watch this area. Sorry if I get tongue twisted with y'all's names and the names of y'all's city. Any Canadians are in the comments, or just anybody who lives up in that area, please correct me. Definitely. I'm not going to take any offense to it. I obviously don't know the geography of that area very well. Never been there. Y'all give me some more names that I can mention, and I would love to know more about that area. But you take a look at the GFS. There's a couple things we're going to be looking at right here. So Larry is right here, obviously. You got Bermuda right here. At the same time, watch this area right here. So you're going here in time, you're getting to about a midweek. Right when around Larry is at its closest approach to the eastern U.S., you have some influx in some tropical moisture right here in the eastern Gulf of Mexico. This tries to develop into something, but really just kind of moves on shore into maybe the Big Bend or Panhandle of Florida. Brings some moisture into Georgia, Florida, maybe even the coastal areas of South Carolina. Pops that low pressure signal right here. Maybe tries to develop into something. But I think the outflow would definitely disrupt any development here. And even if something was to develop, the placement of high pressure, the flow is kicking it out of the south and then moving it and then out of the southwest. So it's going to be moving northeast. So it's going to kick it on out of here, and it's not going to affect anybody. Another reason why this doesn't develop into the Gulf of Mexico is because of unfavorable upper air pattern, basically meaning that there's some dry air from an approaching trough, a cold front moving in, and that causes a lot of shear and upwelling, which basically was caused by Hurricane Ida. Hurricane Ida really slowed down this area right here, which means it churned up the water, which means it brought more cold water to the surface, which means you have cooler sea surface temperatures. The sea surface temperatures are still relatively favorable for tropical development, but definitely not as favorable. You don't have that warm yeti of water that's sitting in that same spot that really exploded Ida to be so strong as it was. So the sea surface temperatures are definitely trying to rebound in that area. It's another thing kind of limiting any kind of intense development, but you get a little bit of closer look. That is big old Larry moving on. That's Bermuda. It's getting awfully close. And here it is. Here's that influx of moisture moving into. I know it doesn't look like a lot, but it will be a little bit of some nasty weather. And then maybe as we get into Friday or so, Friday morning, you might have some nasty weather off the coast of the Carolinas. And it might just be consolidated just to the Carolinas and just to the coastal Carolinas, honestly. And the reason being is because you have a cold front moving through, which I mentioned in my video this morning. So if you want to hear about the potential for more cold fronts in the near future, then definitely watch the video this morning. But there's a cold front here that's definitely a factor in steering whatever develops here on out. At the same time, you got to watch this right here. We're going through in time. You get basically a bunch of disturbances, vortices probably trying to fire up here, kind of where Ida formed. What happens here, and we're not going to know the steering patterns a week out to 10 days out, or what's going to try to pull this thing in or out. But I will mention that Ida kind of showed the same similar thing this far out, as far as wanting to pull this piece of energy way down south into the Bay of Campeche, and then hitting the Mexico. But it does try to pop off some kind of low pressure, and then eventually just kind of moves into Mexico and Texas. But this is the storm that I've seen some stuff all over social media about potentially Category 4 hurricane hitting the Gulf of Mexico. Very irresponsible stuff being posted, but it's no longer really even showing that. So, but there's an area to watch, definitely. For any kind of development. And check it out. This is that kind of cooler area of water in the Gulf of Mexico, in the eastern Gulf of Mexico. Ida came up through here, and basically the roughest weather was on that, remember, on that east side. Basically it was pushing all this water and maneuvering all this water right here into Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. There's definitely just some cooler waters, and that looks like where that tropical disturbance is going to try to move over. So definitely Ida kind of is helping that out to a degree. And you look here too, here comes that piece of energy. Look, all this dry air to its north. See all that brown? That's basically that cold front pushing through. It's going to definitely push whatever tries to develop on out of here. and kick it on out. So we'll continue to try to figure out what's going on here. Sorry guys, my little girl busts in here. She's mad at her sister for taking one of her stuffed animals. So anyways, here, if you hear any screaming in the background, that's what it's from. So I'll need to wrap up this video, but here we go. There's a strong, obvious signal for Larry as it's moving through. At the same time, you have a little bit of a signal here in the eastern Gulf of Mexico off the ensembles here. But overall, there's not a whole lot going on as far as any tropical threats in the near and really the medium to even really the long range. I don't really see anything immediate to worry about. But unless you're in Newfoundland, you have to watch out for sure for any kind of signal. And this is really the big thing I want to worry about. And you see that signal for that tropical development around 9 to 10 days out, showing up here in the southern areas of the Gulf of Mexico. But it's not really nothing to really talk about a whole lot right now. It really isn't. So this is what I'm worried about for you guys up in Canada and Newfoundland, St. John's. Watch what the European does. The European tries to kick this thing more west in the long term. You see how all this, if you back it up here, you see how all the greens and everything is starting to clear out off the eastern U.S. Well, that is a cold front. The cold front lags a little bit, I think, on the Euro. Therefore, it's able, and I think you have a little bit of a stronger ridge of high pressure right here. Therefore, it takes a very quick avenue here, but not before around overnight this Friday into Saturday morning. It really crushing areas in Newfoundland with a quick hitting, pretty strong and significant system. I mean, this thing is still a 949 millibar low storm, well up in the North Atlantic. I mean, pretty far up here. So just be watching the forecast if you're up in this area. There's nothing to stress about right now. It's about, I would say, about 5 or 6 days out. So it's not too far out, but at the same time, it's not too. I mean, it's not. What I'm saying is it's not very, very far out, but it still has time here in the next few days to trend in a better direction for you guys. But this would be a big time system for y'all. I don't know when y'all's the last significant. I mean, I know y'all get nor'easters, but I don't know when the last significant tropical system to really impact y'all was. But this would be a significant event, so I'll continue to keep tabs on that for y'all up there. I know I don't talk about Newfoundland often or at all, but I'll definitely keep tabs on this for you guys. So sorry guys, I got a little distracted there at the end of the video with my kids, but thank y'all for the amazing support. Appreciate all of y'all. I hope y'all continue to have a great weekend, and that's all I got. Nothing really to worry about in the short to medium term. We'll continue to watch. We're lucky right now. I would say we're pretty much in the beginning stages of the heart of hurricane season, and there really isn't nothing too crazy to worry about right now. So thank y'all. Y'all have a great night.